States and urban areas will be required to set goals for reducing carbon emissions from cars and trucks on their roads under a new federal rule released Wednesday as part of the Biden administration's efforts to tie tens of billions of dollars in highway funding from the infrastructure law highway funding. Environmental priorities. The rule, issued by Federal Highway Administration, has the support of environmentalists and some states led by Democratic Party. These states say it's an important recognition that funding road construction tends to encourage more driving and higher emissions. But the proposal faced fierce opposition from many state transportation agencies, who argued they had limited options for achieving their goals and disputed the federal government's legal authority to impose a binding rule. While the rule is final, it is likely to become a battle pitting Republican lawmakers and conservative states against the Biden administration. Transportation is the largest source of greenhouse gases in the United States, and federal government is trying to redirect funding from legislation to projects like transit lines, sidewalks and electric vehicle charging. But Highway Authority has few tools to force states to spend the money way Washington wants. And even guidance from federal officials has faced pushback. Under the new rule, states will not be subject to any penalties if their emissions increase. The Highway Authority said initial targets should be set by February 1. Federal Highway Administrator Shailen Bhatt said it sought to depoliticize the issue of climate spending, adding that the rule was intended to help states prioritize transportation budgets. This isn't about red states or blue states, he said in an interview. This is about climate impacts in every state in the United States. We are experiencing these effects collectively. The rule will do two things. First, state transportation departments and planning agencies for urban areas will need to calculate emissions from vehicles on major routes using a formula based on gasoline and diesel sales data. Agencies will then need to set a target to reduce emissions over time. Progress will be measured every 2 years. The biggest emissions reductions are expected to come from drivers switching to electric cars. Each state's transportation department has developed plans to complete a nationwide charger network. With $5 billion in aid from the Infrastructure Act, this step aims to reduce the worry of not finding a place to charge. However, decisions regarding other infrastructure investments can also affect emissions. Shifting highway funds for public transit or bike and pedestrian paths could encourage people to choose greener forms of transportation, officials say. Shortly after the infrastructure bill was passed in 2021, a study by the Georgetown Climate Center predicted that focusing on maintenance and redirecting spending to public transportation would help reduce emissions more quickly. But Express